There is often a sense of invincibility, nay, immortality, that comes with youth, and that can lead to a certain flippancy in evaluating alternatives. In those situations, it becomes necessary to save such a one from himself. It is precisely that intervention that is needed in order to prevent Samuel Chukwueze from passing up a great opportunity. For young Chukwueze, it has been quite the introduction to the big time this season. Editors pick Solskjaer's atrocious Man United on brink of top 4 disaster after Everton humiliation. Ramsey's Arsenal career may already be over. High time Ozil proves he's worth £350,000 a week. Uninspiring Barcelona edge closer to Liga title, but questions remain as Liverpool loom the GOAT. Ronaldo creates history as first player to win all 3 major leagues. His performances for Villarreal in La Liga and the Europa League have made many sit up and take notice, and catapulted him into the reckoning for Nigeria's senior national team. Just shy of 20, he has also represented the country at 2 other age group levels, under 17 and under 23. However, his desire to be a part of the team to the upcoming FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Poland is proving problematic, and would, in the grand scheme, be extremely short-sighted. In February, the Under-20 national team secured a ticket to the World Cup, but did so in quite disappointing circumstances, finishing 4th at the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations in Niger. Since then, there has ensued a sort of madcap drive for eligible players to beef up the squad, almost with no coherence or consideration. That desperation has now roped in Chukwueze, who has welcomed the interest with a view to being a part of history. According to eFootball, the Villarreal starlet is itching to help Nigeria win a first-ever World Cup at under-20 level, stating when asked if he would honor the invitation, "I'm always happy to play for the country at any level whenever I'm called upon." It is an admirable sentiment, but part of being a professional footballer is learning to pick your battles. It is also understanding that, even when it does not feel that way, your body has limits that you cannot afford not to acknowledge. Already, there are reports that Villarreal will push against his involvement, but beyond even that, there is the consideration of just how it affects his chances of being a part of this summer's Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt. Nigeria may have never won the Under-20 World Cup, but there have been deep runs in the competition. A most recent final appearance in 2005 remains quite memorable, and so it is not beyond the realm of possibility that the Flying Eagles, as the Under-20 team is known, are involved in the competition into the latter stages. Were that to happen, it would effectively rule Chukwueze out of the preparation for the AFCON itself, seeing as the Under-20 World Cup runs until the 15th of June, just 6 days before the AFCON is set to kick off. As such, it is, for all intents and purposes, a zero-sum situation. To pick one would be to lay down the other. Perhaps the player does not see it that way, or lacks the foresight to do so himself. In that case, it behoves Super Eagles coach Gernot Rohr to step in as a matter of urgency. It is unclear at this time whether Under-20 coach Paul Igbogan consulted with Rohr before seeking to poach Chukwueze, and how that information was received if he did. If Rohr acquiesced to the request, that would indicate he has no place for the youngster in his AFCON planning. Surely a mistake. If he has not, then there is clearly some sort of breach in communication and in the chain of command. While the argument has been distilled, in some quarters, to whether or not Chukwueze would get to start for the Super Eagles anyway, that altogether misses the point. Squads win tournaments, not just the preferred starting 11. Gernot Rohr has, at every opportunity, been keen to downplay the quality available to him. That argument falls down flat when you consider that it is not at all certain that Samuel Chukwueze will make the squad to the Africa Cup of Nations this summer. Solus Chukwu at Theodolus, April 2, 2019. There is no greater platform for a young player to announce himself than as a super sub-savior in the hour of need at a major tournament. Is that not precisely the role that launched the career of acrobatic cult hero Julius Agahawa back in the day? No other Nigerian player has scored 5 or more goals in one of Europe's major leagues this season. Now is Chukwueze's moment. Let's block ads. Why?